Listen to me. Average is crowded, and that's why you don't belong there. Every day you wake up, you have a choice. Set the standard or settle for the minimum. But champions don't chase minimums. They create the maximum. When you walk in the room, people should feel your energy before you say a word. Your work ethic should speak louder than your mouth. Your results should be so consistent that people don't ask if you can deliver. They expect you to, because you have set a standard. Stop waiting for motivation. And stop waiting for someone to push you. Be the example, be the blueprint. Be the standard. When people around you get tired, you keep grinding. When life hits you, you stand up stronger. When doubt shows up, let your discipline answer the door. It's not about being perfect. It's about being purposeful. Set a standard for how you think, how you work, how you speak, and how you show up every single day. And once you set that standard, do not lower IT for anyone. You weren't built to fit in. You were built to lead, to inspire, and to set the bar so high that even your earlier self can't recognize the new you. From today forward, raise your expectations, raise your effort, raise your standard, and watch your life rise with it. Your energy is your brand. And every single day you step out into the world, whether you realize it or not, you are broadcasting a message about who you are. People feel your presence long before they understand your personality. They read your energy before they hear words. That's why it is not enough to simply show up. You must show up with intention, with passion, and with intensity. When you walk into a room, your energy should speak louder than anything you could ever say with your mouth. Your work ethic should carry a signature feel, something that makes people instantly know, yes, that's them. They operate on a different level. Intensity is not about being loud. It's not about being aggressive. Intensity is about being fully present, fully committed, and fully locked in on whatever you decide to do. It means you don't just participate, you dominate. You don't just contribute, you transform the atmosphere around you. When you set a standard of high energy, you're not performing for others, you're representing who you decided to become. You're choosing to live in a state of purpose instead of autopilot. Most people walk through life half asleep, dragging their feet, doing only what is required. Only what is required. They don't understand that energy is a currency, and the one who controls their energy controls their outcomes. Your energy is the first thing people notice and the last thing they forget. It shapes how they treat you, how they trust you, and how they talk about you when you're not in the room. But more importantly, it shapes how you see yourself. When you start your day with intensity, you send a message internally. I am someone who shows up at 100%, no matter what. That message sticks. That message builds confidence. That message builds discipline. Over time, that message becomes your identity. You begin to operate differently. You stop accepting mediocrity. You stop tolerating laziness. You stop entertaining excuses. Because someone who carries high energy can't live in low standards. It's easy to show up with energy when life feels good, when things are flowing, when you're winning. But your brand is defined by what you do when things are difficult. When you don't feel like moving, when you don't feel motivated, when you don't feel appreciated, your energy in those moments tells the world exactly what you're made of. Don't wait for perfect conditions to show up with intensity. They bring intensity into imperfect conditions and change the environment around them. They don't let the weather, the emotions, the setbacks, or the people dictate their energy. They take control of it. They own it. They protect it like something valuable, because it is. Think about the people who inspire you the most. They don't inspire you because they whisper their dreams. They inspire you because they embody their dreams. You feel it when they talk. You feel it when they walk. You feel it when they walk. Their energy is consistent. It's contagious. And the truth is, your energy can be the same. You don't need talent to show up with intensity. You don't need money. You don't need connection. And you don't need perfect circumstances. Intensity is a choice, and it's a choice available to everyone. Every morning, the moment you wake up, you have a decision to make. You can operate at the level of your feeling, or you can operate at the level of your standards. If you let your feelings choose how you show up, some days you will be unstoppable, and other days you will invisible. But when you let your standards run your life, when you say, no matter how I feel, I show up with power, then your energy becomes stable. predictable, unshakable. And that's how strong brands are built. Not on random bursts of effort, but on consistent intensity. Your energy can inspire someone who is struggling. It can motivate someone who's tired. It can lift someone who's fallen behind. But before it does any of that, it transforms you. It pushes you to rise to your potential. It forces you to be accountable. It reminds you that greatness is not created in the moment you succeed. It's created in the thousands of moments you chose to show up with intensity, even when no one was watching. So every day, decide that your energy will be your signature, your badge, your identity. Show up with fire. Show up with purpose. Show up with the kind of intensity that leaves no doubt about who you are and what you're capable of becoming. There comes a point in your life where you have to stop waiting for someone to validate you, approve you, or tell you that it's finally your turn. Too many people are living their lives on pause, waiting for permission that is never coming, waiting for someone else to tell them what they're capable of, waiting for the world to open a door that they were supposed to break open themselves. When you spend your life seeking approval, you are handing your power away piece by piece. You are giving others the authority to shape your destiny. But the truth is, nobody's going to care about your dream the way you do. Nobody's going to push you the way you need to be pushed. And nobody's going to hand you a roadmap to greatness. You must create your own expectations and live by them every single day. Asking for permission is a habit that starts early. We grow up being taught to wait, to raise our hand, to ask if it's okay, to look for someone in a higher position to say yes. But adulthood demands a different mindset. What you want, what you believe in, and what you are destined for cannot survive under a permission-based mentality. If you want something extraordinary, you cannot wait for ordinary people to approve. Extraordinary decisions require personal conviction, not public agreement. The moment you stop asking for permission is the moment you take ownership of your life. When you create your own expectations, you stop living according to what others think is realistic. Most people define life based on fear, not on potential. Not on potential. They judge possibilities based on limitation, not on imagination. If you allow their opinions to dictate your expectations, you will shrink your dreams to fit their comfort zone. You will settle for what they think is possible, not what you know you can achieve. That's why you must set your own standards. If your expectations don't scare you a little, they're not high enough. If your goals don't make other people confused or uncomfortable, then you're not dreaming big enough. Your expectations should challenge you, pressure you, stretch you, and force you to level up every single day. Most people never master their lives because they leave their expectations open to negotiation. They lower them when life gets difficult. They shrink them to avoid criticism. They modify them to avoid failure. But champions lock their expectations in place and rise to meet them, no matter what the circumstances look like. They don't say, I'll do it if things go right. They say, I'll do it because I've decided it's who I am. That level of self-belief is what separates those who grow from those who remain stuck. When you stop asking for permission, you stop playing small. You stop waiting for someone to call your name, and you start calling your own number. You start believing that you have the right to pursue greatness, the right to reinvent yourself, the right to build something that has never existed before. You stop living reactively and start living intentionally. Instead of wondering if you can succeed, you begin preparing to succeed. Instead of asking for support, you start building momentum. Instead of looking around for validation, you look inward for strength. There will always be people who question your ambition because your ambition threatens their comfort. There will always be people who doubt your goals because your goals remind them of their own inaction. If you wait for these people to give you permission, you will be waiting forever. You cannot base your future on someone else's fear. You cannot build your destiny on someone else's insecurity. Permission is a prison, and the only key is self-belief. When you create your own expectations, you create a personal contract with yourself. You define who you are, what you stand for, what you will tolerate, and what you will not. You decide the level of excellence you demand from yourself. You choose your standards for work ethic, discipline, consistency, effort, and character. And once you set those expectations, you execute them relentlessly, even when you're tired. even when you're discouraged, even when you don't feel motivated. Because expectations without execution are just wishes, and you were not born to live a life of wishing. You were born to build, to rise, to create, and to overcome. The world does not reward those who sit quietly waiting for opportunity. It rewards those who prepare, those who pursue, those who refuse to be ignored. You don't need permission to chase your dream, to take a risk, to start over, to change direction, or to demand more from yourself. You don't need permission to evolve into a stronger, smarter, more focused version of who you are. You don't need permission to believe in yourself again. People talk about motivation like it's some magical force that will carry them to success. But the truth is, motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like the weather. It shifts with your emotions and it disappears. The moment life becomes uncomfortable. Discipline, on the other hand, steady. It's steady. It doesn't depend on how you feel. It doesn't care about your mood. It doesn't need to be loud, exciting, or inspiring. Discipline is quiet, consistent, and powerful. It shows up long after motivation has left. That is why discipline beats motivation every single day. Motivation might get you started, but discipline keeps you moving when everything in you wants to stop. It keeps you on track when the world throws distractions your way. It pushes you forward when you no longer feel the excitement you started with. Anyone can work hard when they're motivated. Anyone can be focused when life feels good. But discipline reveals itself in the moments where motivation is nowhere to be found. The early mornings when you're tired. The long nights where you'd rather rest. The days when nothing seems to be working. Discipline shows up even when you don't want to. Discipline shows up because responsibility is stronger than emotion. Most people fail not because they lack talent, but because they rely too heavily on motivation. They wait until they feel inspired before they take action. They wait until conditions feel right before they start working. They wait until they're in the mood before they move forward. But high achievers don't wait. They act. They follow a system. They follow a routine. They follow their commitments instead of their feelings. They understand that feelings change, but standards remain. When the motivation is gone, it will go. Discipline is what keeps them aligned with their goals. Discipline requires a mindset shift. It requires you to stop asking, do I feel like doing it? And start asking, did I commit to doing it? The moment your commitments become more important than your comfort, your life begins to transform. Discipline teaches you to value consistency over intensity, long-term progress over short-term pleasure. It teaches you that small efforts repeated daily will outperform bursts of effort fueled by temporary motivation. It teaches you that true success is built in the mundane, repetitive, often boring actions that most people avoid. There will be days when discipline feels heavy, days when your mind tells you to rest, when your body complains, when your emotions try to negotiate with you. But those days are the most important because they strengthen you. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you become stronger. Every time you follow through on a commitment you didn't feel like doing, you build mental toughness. Every time you do the right thing instead of the easy thing, you develop character. Discipline creates a version of you that cannot be broken by simple obstacles. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is structural. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is a strategy. Motivation gets you in the gym. Discipline keeps you there. Motivation gets you excited about your dream. Discipline makes you qualified to live that dream. Many people rely on motivation because it feels good. It gives them a rush, a high, a sense of possibility. But possibility means nothing without action. Potential means nothing without execution. Discipline is what turns possibilities into progress, and progress into success. When you operate with discipline, you stop negotiating with yourself. You stop allowing excuses to have power. You stop delaying the work that needs to be done. Discipline creates clarity. It creates momentum. It creates habits that carry you through the toughest seasons of your life. Motivation can disappear when things go wrong, but discipline adapts. Discipline adjusts. Discipline pushes through storms, setbacks, failures, and frustrations. That's why disciplined people outlast motivated people every single time. People admire discipline from a distance, but they rarely see what it costs. Discipline demands sacrifice. It requires saying no to distraction, Know the temptations, know the wasting time. It requires prioritizing what you want most over what you want now. It asks you to show up when nobody is watching, when nobody is clapping, when nobody is encouraging you. But that's where greatness is formed. That is where breakthroughs happen. That is where self-respect grows. At the end of the day, motivation makes you feel good, but discipline makes you great. Motivation excites you, but discipline transforms you. Motivation gives you a reason, but discipline gives you results. And when you look back at your journey, you won't remember the days you felt motivated. You remember the days you pushed through without it. Consistency is the hidden engine behind every great achievement. People admire the final result, the success, the breakthrough, the transformation, but they rarely see the countless moments of quiet effort that made it possible. The real foundation of greatness is built in the unseen hours, the times when nobody is clapping, nobody is noticing, and nobody is validating your effort. It's easy to perform when the spotlight is on you. It's easy to work hard when people are cheering you on, supporting you, or expecting something from you. But true strength is revealed in the moments where you stand alone and choose to be consistent anyway. Being consistent when no one is watching shows who you really are. It shows what you value. It shows what you believe about yourself. Anyone can deliver when there's pressure, when there's recognition, when there's an audience. But the people who win in life are the ones who treat private moments with the same seriousness they treat public ones. They don't need applause to stay committed. They don't need external motivation to stay disciplined. Their drive comes from within, and that is what makes them unstoppable. When you practice consistency in the dark, you build habits that shine in the light. Every repetition adds up. Every small action compounds. Every day you show up, even if nothing seems to be happening, you are creating momentum. And momentum is one of the most powerful forces in success. It builds confidence, it builds identity, it builds belief. A single day of effort may not seem like much, but 1,000 days of consistency can change your entire life. The challenge is that consistency is rarely exciting. It's not glamorous. It often feels repetitive, slow, and unnoticed. You might spend months working without visible progress, and your mind will try to convince you that it isn't worth it. That's where most people quit. Not because they're incapable, but because they want instant results. They want someone to acknowledge their effort. They want quick validation. But consistency requires patience, the kind of patience that is fueled by long-term vision instead of short-term excitement. When no one is watching, your standards are tested. Do you still give your best effort, or do you take shortcuts because no one will notice? So, do you still hold yourself accountable, or do you relax because there's no one around to judge you? These private decisions determine your public results. If you want excellence, you must practice excellence even in silence. If you want strength, you must build it daily, not occasionally. If you want to become someone others respect, you must first become someone you respect. Consistency also builds trust with yourself. Every time you follow through on a commitment in private, you prove to yourself that your word matters. You build internal reliability. You begin to trust your own discipline. And that self-trust becomes a foundation for confidence. On the other hand, every time you break a promise to yourself, even a small one, you weaken your belief in your ability to succeed. Consistency is not just about actions, it is about identity. It is about shaping the type of person you see in the mirror. There will be days when you feel invisible. Days when you're giving everything and receiving nothing in return. Days when the silence feels discouraging. But these are the days that shape you the most. The work you do in the quiet seasons prepares you for the moments where everything aligns. The world might not notice the effort you put in today, but your future will. Your future success already being built by the consistency you choose right now. Think about athletes who train before dawn, long before their fans ever fill a stadium. Think about musicians who practice for years before anyone knows their name. Think about entrepreneurs who work late nights while everyone else is asleep. Their greatness wasn't born on the stage. It was born in the hours no one saw. That is the reality of success. Private work leads to public reward. When you stay consistent, even without recognition, you rise above the average. Most people only give effort when there's something to gain. But champions understand that real progress comes from commitment long before the reward arrives. They keep showing up day after day because they know that consistency will eventually break barriers, open doors, and create opportunities. Your quiet effort is not wasted. Your unseen discipline is not forgotten. Every day you choose to be consistent, you plant seeds that will eventually grow into the life you want. Even if no one sees it now, the results will speak loudly later. Keep showing up, keep pushing, keep giving your best, even in silence. The consistency you build when no one is watching becomes a success you experience when everyone is watching. There will always be people who think your standards are too high, not because they believe you're wrong, but because your standards remind them of what they are not willing to do. When you set high expectations for your life, your work, your habits, and your character, you will naturally make others uncomfortable. Some will try to convince you to relax. Some will try to pull you back. Some will tell you that you're doing too much, trying too hard, or expecting something unrealistic. But the truth is, they don't want you to lower your standards because it benefits you. They want you to lower them because it makes them feel better about staying the same. Never allow someone else's comfort zone to define your potential. Your standards are a reflection of how much you respect yourself. They represent what you are willing to tolerate, what you are willing to accept, and what you refuse to settle for. When you lower your standards to match the people around you, you shrink your identity, you limit your growth, you teach yourself to accept less than what you're capable of. Little by little, you compromise your goals, your discipline, and your dreams, all to fit into an environment that wasn't built for your greatness. The moment you start dimming your light, you stop becoming the person you were meant to be. People who operate with low standards would always try to make your high standards look extreme. If you work harder, they'll say you're obsessed. If you set boundaries, they'll say you're selfish. If you demand excellence, they'll say you're unrealistic. But understand this, someone who isn't willing to grow will always criticize the one who is. Their discomfort is not your problem. You cannot live your life trying to make others feel comfortable with your ambition. You cannot reduce yourself to fit inside the small box someone else calls a normal. There will be times when sticking to your standards feels isolating. You may not fit in with certain groups anymore. You may outgrow friendships. You may find yourself walking alone more often. But sometimes solitude is the price of self-respect. You have to choose what matters more, temporary acceptance or long-term success. People may leave, but your standards will attract the right people in the long run. People who think like you, work like you, and push you forward instead of holding you back. Lowering your standards doesn't just affect your environment, it affects your mindset. Once you start compromising in one area, it becomes easier to compromise in others. You skip one workout and suddenly you skip 3. You relax one boundary, suddenly people walk all over you. You give in to one excuse and suddenly excuses become your language. Your standards are the guardrails that keep your life on track. Remove them and everything becomes unstable. On the other hand, when you maintain high standards, even when it's difficult, you develop discipline, pride, and identity. You show yourself that you are someone who follows through, someone who doesn't bend under pressure, someone who values their potential too much to dilute it. And that internal strength becomes the foundation of every achievement that follows. People who truly care about you will never ask you to lower your standards. They will rise to meet them. They will support your boundaries, respect your goals, and encourage your growth. The people who ask you to settle are showing you their limitations, not yours. Do not mistake their fear for your reality. Do not mistake their comfort zone for your destination. Your dream requires high standards. Your future demands them. The level of life you want to live is on the level of excellence you're willing to maintain. If you want extraordinary results, you cannot live with ordinary habits. If you want powerful relationships, you cannot tolerate toxic ones. If you want massive success, you cannot entertain small thinking. Every area of your life will be shaped by the standards you refuse to lower. And the truth is, your standards will scare people who benefit from your weakness. They will frustrate those who expect you to settle. They will intimidate those who lack direction, but they will also inspire those who are hungry for more. Your standards will separate you, but they will also elevate you. So protect them, honor them, lie by them, even when people don't understand, even when it feels lonely, even when it feels difficult. Never allow the comfort zone of others to become the ceiling of your life. You were not made to shrink. You were made to rise. The people you keep around you will either push your standards higher or pull them lower. And sometimes the biggest shift in your life happens the moment you decide to protect your environment. Your circle influences your habits, your attitude, your focus, and your ambition more than you realize. If you spend your time around people who complain, you start complaining. If you spend your time with people who make excuses, you begin absorbing those excuses. If you surround yourself with people who operate at a low level, it becomes harder to maintain a high level yourself. Your environment is shaping you every moment of every day, whether you pay attention or not. And that is why you must choose people who elevate your standards instead of lowering them. There are people who will inspire you simply by the way they live. They don't have to tell you to work harder. Their consistency forces you to reflect on your own. They don't have to brag about their discipline. You can see it in their results. They don't need to motivate you with speeches. Their lifestyle is the motivation. When you're around people like that, excellence becomes normal. High expectations become normal. Growth becomes normal. Elevation becomes the standard, not the exception. And then there are people who drain your energy without saying a word. They doubt everything, they fear everything, avoid responsibility. They complain about opportunity instead of taking them. Being around that type of energy slowly lowers your standards because you begin to adapt to the room you're in. You start justifying laziness because everyone else is lazy. You start settling for average because average becomes the common language. You stop dreaming big because no one around you supports big dreams. That is why protecting your circle is not selfish. It is necessary. You cannot grow in an environment that suffocates your potential. You cannot rise in a circle that refuses to rise with you. Sometimes the most difficult decision you will ever make is distancing yourself from people who are comfortable staying where they are. It doesn't mean you're better than them. It means you're committed to becoming better than you used to be. Growth requires separation, not out of arrogance, but out of alignment. You need people who challenge you, push you, and hold you accountable. People who don't let you settle for the weaker version of yourself. When you surround yourself with people who elevate your standards, you begin to expand your limits. You start thinking differently, speaking differently, moving differently. Your goals become clearer. Your focus becomes sharper. You stop wasting time because the people around you don't live with wasted time. You stop entertaining drama because your circle doesn't have room for it. You stop doubting yourself because you see others chasing their goals with confidence, and confidence becomes contagious. Your environment should make you uncomfortable in the right way, not uncomfortable because people bring negativity, but uncomfortable because they force you to level up. You should feel challenged, inspired, and stretched. If your circle does not make you grow, then your circle is shrinking you. And if the people around you do not push you to elevate, then they are quietly allowing you to decline. Sometimes you outgrow people without trying to. You evolve, but they stay the same. You learn, but they remain stuck. You adopt new habits, but they cling to old ones. This disconnect is not your fault. It is a natural part of growth. The mistake is not outgrowing people. The mistake is forcing yourself to shrink to stay connected to them. You are not meant to dim your ambition to protect someone else's comfort zone. You cannot carry people who refuse to walk. You cannot drag people who choose to stand still. You cannot save people who don't want change. Choosing people who elevate your standard doesn't mean searching for perfect people. It means choosing people with purpose, people with discipline, people with dreams, people with integrity, people who want to rise and are committed to rising. You need people who remind you of who you can become, not people who constantly remind you of who you used to be. Circles should feel like fuel, not weight. They should make your future feel exciting, not overwhelming. They should make your goals feel reachable, not unrealistic. They should see the greatness in you even on the days you can't see it yourself. And you should do the same for them. A powerful circle is not one where everyone is perfect. It's one where everyone is growing. The standard you set for your life must also apply to your relationships. Protect your energy, protect your environment, and choose to walk with people who elevate your standard, push you toward the highest version of yourself. Every person who has ever chased a dream eventually reaches a point where the world feels heavy, progress feels slow, and the weight of expectation seems too much to carry. In those moments, it becomes easy to question your path, your ability, and even your purpose. But what separates those who rise from those who fall is not talent, not resources, not luck. It is the commitment to keep moving forward even when the path becomes uncomfortable. Every day you live with purpose. You teach your mind discipline. Every choice you make shapes the person you are becoming, and with each step forward, you grow stronger, more focused, and more in control of your direction. The world won't slow down for you, and your goals won't move closer unless you push yourself to meet them halfway. Life challenges you not to break you, but to show you the strength you carry inside, the power you often ignore, and the potential you underestimate. Most people only see the difficulty in the process, but you must learn to see the opportunity behind the pain. When your mind tries to convince you to stop, remind yourself why you started. When doubt whispers that you're not enough, fight back with action, not excuses. Every small improvement adds up over time, and every act of discipline builds the foundation for a better version of yourself. You don't have to be perfect. You only have to be committed. Progress doesn't come from sudden transformation. It comes from consistency, from waking up every day and choosing to grow even if the steps are small. There will be days when motivation fades, when circumstances distract you, and when your goals seem far away. That is when you must rely not on inspiration, but on discipline. Discipline is stronger than motivation because it doesn't depend on your mood, it depends on your values. When you build discipline, you build a system that keeps you moving forward, even when everything inside you wants to stop. You must train your mind the same way you train your body, with repetition, persistence, and the willingness to work through discomfort. The more you master your thoughts, the more you master your life. People often complain about their situation but refuse to change their habits. They want success without sacrifice, growth without effort, and progress without discomfort. But life does not reward wishful thinking. It rewards consistent action. If you want a stronger mind, you must challenge it. If you want a better future, you must create it. If you want a new life, you must let go of the old pattern that holds you back. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you rewrite your future. Every time you choose effort over excuses, you expand your potential. You must understand that the journey is not supposed to be easy. If it were easy, everyone would achieve greatness. What makes your path meaningful is the fact that you are willing to do what most people won't. You wake up with purpose. You push yourself when others quit, and you refuse to settle for anything less than your best. There is power in that. There is pride in that. And one day, when you look back at your journey, you will realize that the struggle was not your barrier. It was your training ground. It shaped your mind, sharpened your focus, and prepared you for everything you were meant to achieve. Life will continue to test your patience, your strength, and your determination. People may doubt you, circumstances may challenge you, and failures may discourage you, but none of these things have the power to stop you unless you let them. You owe it to yourself to keep going, to stay committed, and to rise above every obstacle. Your mind is your most powerful weapon, and once you learn to control it, nothing can control you. You must choose to be stronger than your excuses, louder than your doubts, and more consistent than your fear. Focus on your growth. Focus on your discipline. Focus on the person you are becoming. Every day is an opportunity to improve, to evolve. Don't waste your time comparing yourself to others. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday. Your only competition is the version of you that refuses to grow. Keep pushing, keep grinding, and keep believing in your journey. The effort you put in today becomes the strength you carry tomorrow. Every morning offers a new chance to rise, to reset, and to choose the kind of day you want to build. When you wake up with determination and purpose, you set the tone for everything that follows. This is the moment when you decide whether you will drift through the day or take charge of it with intention. To get up and go get it is more than a motivational phrase. It is a mindset, a lifestyle, and a call to action that reminds you that greatness does not come to those who wait. It comes to those who move, those who push, and those who are willing to step into the discomfort of growth. Every sunrise asks you the same question. Will you stay where you are, or will you get up and go after what you truly want? Life rewards those who put into work long before anyone applauds them. When you rise early, when you discipline your mind, and when you commit to your goals before the world wakes up, you give yourself a head start that most people never experience. This speech urges you to stop letting excuses control your future. You are capable more than you think, but capability means nothing without action. The world doesn't hand out success, it hands out opportunity, and it is up to you to grab them before somebody else does. Every day you choose to move, you separate yourself from the version of you that keeps settling. When you start your day with energy and focus, everything else begins to align. You begin to see possibilities where others see problems, lessons where others see obstacles, and growth where others see failure. Your perspective shifts from waiting for something to happen to making it happen with your own effort. That is what powerful mornings are built on: clarity, determination, and disciplined action. The message behind this speech pushes you to take ownership of your morning, because the mornings where champions are made. The morning is where discipline is created. The morning is where your new life begins. Success doesn't come from being lucky. It comes from being prepared, consistent, and willing to work hard even when motivation disappears. There will be days when you feel tired, when circumstances don't go your way, or when life throws setbacks at you. But that is exactly why this message exists, to remind you that you must push through even when it gets tough. You cannot wait for the perfect moment, because the perfect moment will never come. You must learn to create your own momentum by showing up every single day. Small steps compounded over time create massive results. And it all starts with your decision to get up and go after what you want. People underestimate the power of daily consistency. They focus on big wins, but ignore the small habits that lead to those wins. Waking up with purpose is not just about motivation. It is about training your mind to operate with discipline. When you make a habit of rising early and working on your goals, you reshape your identity. You stop identifying with your excuses and start identifying with your potential. You become the kind of person who follows through, the kind of person who does what needs to be done even when it's not easy. And that shift in identity is what leads to long-term success. The world is full of people who dream but never act, who wish but never try, who wait but never move. You must choose to be different. You must choose to be the person who takes initiative, who shows up, who pushes forward even when the path isn't clear. This speech encourages you to stop limiting yourself and start stepping into the life you want. Opportunities are everywhere, but only those with courage and discipline will see them. Only those who take action will benefit from them. Life will not hand you success. You must get up and earn it. Every morning you have two choices: stay comfortable or get uncomfortable and grow. Comfort may feel good in the moment, but it never leads to transformation. Growth, on the other hand, demands effort, sacrifice, and persistence. When you get up and go get it, you step into the version of yourself who embraces challenges instead of running from them. You start moving with intention instead of drifting through life. You begin to understand that everything you want is on the other side of discipline and determination. There will always be distractions, doubts, and obstacles trying to slow you down, but the strength to overcome them lies within you. You must remind yourself that the journey is worth it, that your goals matter, and that your future is shaped by the choices you make today. When you commit to rising with purpose, you create momentum that carries you forward, even when motivation fades. You begin to understand that success is not a moment. It is a daily decision to show up, work hard, and believe in your potential. The idea that the mind creates the man is one of the most powerful truths you can ever understand, because everything you become, everything you achieve, and everything you experience begins inside your thought. Your mind is the architect, the engineer, and the builder of your entire life. Before success happens in the physical world, it happens internally, in your beliefs and in your self-image. If you see yourself as someone capable, strong, disciplined, and deserving, then you will naturally take actions that match that identity. But if you see yourself as someone who can, someone who's limited, someone who's held back by fear or doubt, then every decision you make will reflect that limitation. The world responds not to who you want to be, but to who you believe you are. And that belief is formed by your mindset. You become unstoppable the moment you take control of your thoughts. Most people fall because they let their mind dictate their reality instead of training it to work for them. They allow fear to become their decision maker, doubt to become their companion, and negativity to become their default setting. But the truth is, the mind is not meant to control you, you are meant to control it. You have the power to design your inner world so that the outer world bends to your direction. When your thinking shifts, your life shifts. When you reshape your mindset, you reshape your mindset, you reshape your destiny. Everything starts with the way you think, speak, visualize, and believe. Your thoughts create patterns, and those patterns become your habits. Your habits shape your behavior, and your behavior determines your future. That is why mental discipline is essential. You cannot build greatness on a foundation of weak thoughts. You cannot expect confidence from a mind filled with self-doubt. You cannot expect breakthroughs from a mind that constantly focuses on limitations. You must learn to feed your mind with ideas that strengthen you, not weaken you. Every day, you are programming yourself either for success or failure, for growth or stagnation, for courage or fear. This is why controlling your mind is more important than controlling your circumstances. Circumstances can change, but the mind you train will guide you through anything. The difference between people who rise and people who remain stuck is not talent or luck. It is mindset. Those who rise have mastered the ability to turn obstacles into opportunities. They understand that setbacks are lessons, not ending. They see challenges as training ground for strength, not as reasons to quit. This mindset doesn't come naturally. It's developed through discipline and repetition. You must train your mind like you train a muscle. You stretch it, you challenge it, and you condition it until strength becomes natural. The stronger your mind becomes, the stronger your life becomes. What you focus on expands. If you focus on problems, you'll see more problems. If you focus on possibilities, you'll discover more opportunities. The mind magnifies whatever you direct it toward. That is why mindset matters more than circumstance. Two people can face the same situation, but their outcomes will be completely different based on how they interpret it mentally. One will see defeat and give up. The other will see a chance to rise and fight. The difference is not the challenge. It is the mindset facing the challenge. When your thoughts are aligned with purpose, resilience, and determination, no obstacle can stop you. To build the life you want, you must first build a mind that can handle it. Success requires mental endurance. Dreams require mental clarity. Growth requires mental courage. If your mind is weak, every small inconvenience will break you. But if your mind is strong, even the biggest storms will shape you instead of destroy you. Train your mind to stay focused when distractions come. Train your mind to stay calm when pressure increases. Train your mind to stay committed when progress feels slow. The more control you have over your mind, the more control you gain over your future. The thoughts you repeat become the beliefs you accept. The beliefs you accept become the standards you live by. And the standards you live by create the person you become. That is why you must guard your mind from negativity, from doubt, from the voices that tell you to settle. Your mind is fertile soil. Whatever you plant in it will grow. Plant confidence and you act boldly. Plant discipline and you will work with consistency. Plant purpose and you will live with direction. But plant fear and you will move timidly. Plant doubt and you will hesitate. Plant negativity and you will attract failure. Protect your mind the same way you protect your dreams. The world may try to convince you that you're not enough, but the moment you decide to rewrite your inner narrative, everything changes. You have the authority to choose what thoughts stay and what thoughts leave. You have the power to replace old beliefs with new ones. You have the ability to build a mental environment that supports success instead of sabotaging it. When you take control of your thinking, you take control of your actions. When you take control of your actions, you take control of your results. Your life becomes a reflection of your mindset. Every great achievement begins with a decision in the mind, a decision to try to believe, to push, to grow. You cannot wait for confidence to appear. You build it by repeatedly telling your mind that you are capable and then proving it through action. You build strength by challenging your limits, not by staying within them. You build courage by facing fear, not by avoiding it. You build resilience by bouncing back, not by giving up. The mind creates the man, and the man creates the life. Hard work always pays off, but too many people underestimate what that really means. They think effort is only about doing a few things when it's convenient or showing up when it feels good. They look for shortcuts, for hacks, for easy wins, and they miss the one truth that separates the successful from the average. There is no replacement for consistent, relentless effort. Every step you take, every hour you dedicate, every sacrifice you make compounds over time. What seems small or unnoticed today is the foundation for your success tomorrow. Hard work is invisible until it becomes undeniable. And that's why so few people achieve the greatness they claim to want. When you commit to hard work, you are committing to your future. You are choosing to invest in yourself when no one else is watching, when no one else cares, and when it would be easier to quit. Most people give up at the first sign of discomfort, the first obstacle, or the first failure. But hard work demands that you keep moving even when the world seems to be against you. It asks that you show up consistently, not because you are motivated, but because you have decided that your dreams are worth the effort. Hard work is not about feeling like it. It is about choosing to do it anyway. Every champion, every legend, every person who has ever achieved extraordinary results has one thing in common. They refuse to settle for mediocrity. They understood that talent alone is not enough. They understood that opportunity favors the prepared, and preparation is built through effort. When you work hard consistently, you train your mind and your body to handle more. You develop resilience, discipline, and confidence. You build a reputation not for talking about what you want, but for showing results, and results are what people remember. People may underestimate you today, but your hard work ensures that tomorrow they cannot ignore you. Hard work is not always glamorous. It requires sacrifice. It asks you to push past comfort. It requires waking up early, staying late, and keeping your focus even when distractions are everywhere. It asks that you prioritize growth over entertainment, discipline over instant gratification, and progress over ease. Every hour you dedicate to improvement is an hour you will never regret. Every effort you make, even when small, adds to the momentum that carries you to your goals. Consistency transforms effort into mastery, and mastery transforms mastery into success. Many people believe that working hard is enough, but the key is working smart as well as working hard. Focused, intentional effort multiplies your results. It's not about moving constantly, it's about moving with purpose. It's about making every action count, eliminating wasted effort, and pushing past the excuses that so easily derail most people. Hard work is amplified when paired with strategy, persistence, and vision. When you know why you are doing something, the energy to keep going becomes unstoppable. And when your actions align with your goals, the payoff becomes inevitable. The path of hard work is not easy, and is not always appreciated. There will be people who doubt you, people who criticize you, and people who laugh at your efforts. But that is part of the journey. The harder the work, the greater the results. You will not find instant recognition, and often you may feel alone. But that is the price of becoming remarkable. Most people quit when the reward is delayed, but those who push through understand that the payoff is coming. And when it comes, it is bigger than they could have imagined. That is the reward of persistence, the satisfaction of knowing that you gave everything, sacrificed everything, and earned everything. Hard work teaches lessons that money, status, or shortcuts can never teach. It builds character, strength, and patience. It forces you to confront your weaknesses, overcome your fears, and rise above the excuses that hold most people back. It teaches you the value of persistence, the power of discipline, and the necessity of resilience. You learn that the journey is just as important as the destination because it is the work you put in that shapes who you are, not just the results you achieve. Hard work creates identity, and identity creates destiny. Even when you don't see immediate results, hard work compounds. Every hour you dedicate, every skill you sharpen, every extra step you take adds up. Small victories accumulate into massive triumphs. Every day of focus, discipline, and effort builds a foundation for the life you desire. The payoff may be delayed, but it is guaranteed for those willing to persist. Hard work is never wasted. Even failures teach lessons, refine your approach, and prepare you for bigger wins. That is why people who never quit, who stay committed, who refuse shortcuts, always achieve more than those who rely on luck, motivation, or chance.